This is a Lamborghini Aventador, priced at $500,000. And this is Hai from Vietnam, a man who set out to build an exact replica in his garage, using nothing but his bare hands. No manuals, no team, and no background in supercar design. His only references? A toy-sized model and a handful of pictures from the internet, because in his village no one had ever seen a real one. And yet somehow he pulled it off with stunning accuracy. As for the final cost, well, we'll get to that, but first, let's see how he made it happen. He began with a skeleton. Steel beams were cut to length and welded together. To give the frame its basic mobility, the front springs were mounted, along with a basic steering column, all firmly welded to the metal skeleton. With the base complete, it was time to install the engine. Hai placed it into the rear and fixed on the wheels. Then crafted and welded the exhaust system from spare steel. The core structure was now in place. Before moving forward with bodywork, Hai stripped the frame down once more. A deep black coat of paint was sprayed across the exposed surfaces, including the suspension arms. A thick board was mounted as the floor, screwed into place, then strengthened with glue and layered fabric. Once hardened and dry, the engine, wheels, steering, and suspension were all returned to their positions. A pair of custom seats, close in design to those of a real Lamborghini, were bolted in. Finally, Hai pushed the frame outside for its first road test. Despite its raw form, it was fully functional. Shifting focus to the body, Hai pulled out a metal clamp and started bending sheet metal into curves. These became the wheel arches and exterior panels. Each section was welded and screwed to the frame, giving the build new dimension. Protective plates were added above the tires. Once the panels were in place, they were removed again in preparation for painting. With the surface ready for color, Hai sprayed the assembled body shell in a vibrant yellow. When the paint dried, he lowered the shell back onto the chassis. It fit like a glove. With this test run, the Lamborghini was finally starting to take shape. To add definition and durability, Hai attached additional metal sheets to key areas. Next comes the most surprising material of all, a muddy clay mixture. He used his hands to mold it carefully across the front, then the sides. Once the form was just right, Hai applied a coat of yellow paint across the newly shaped exterior to seal the surface and create a uniform base. After the paint had fully dried, he reinforced the body by carefully applying a layer of mesh pre-soaked in adhesive. A thin but even coat of primer was then applied on top, bonding securely to the mesh. Then, using a polisher, he meticulously smoothed the surface to eliminate any imperfections and enhance the contours. In the rear section of the car, he repeated this same detailed process, ensuring consistency across the body. As a final touch to this stage, he added a spoiler, giving the replica its defining aerodynamic silhouette. Now the body lines closely resembled the real thing. Thinking of the details, Hai turned to the rear grille. A steel frame was measured and welded. Then he created a mold, packed it with clay, glued and plastered it. He sketched the signature grille shape and drilled it out with care. The completed piece was installed at the back. To achieve the convertible look, Hai moved onto the roof. Using a circular saw, he removed it cleanly. He then separated the scissor doors from the main body. Now they swung open like the originals. Moving to the front section, Hai opened the compartment and installed interior panels to guide the trunk's shape. As before, he applied clay, glue, and plaster. When finished, the trunk received a fresh coat of paint. Refining the rear design, Hai focused on the hood. Its edges were sanded and a custom detail was added in the center. That piece was painted a metallic white, then set back in. Testing progress once again, Hai took the build out for another drive with doors, trunk, and hood now fully functional. Returning to the cabin, Hai tackled the dashboard next. He welded a support frame, then sculpted the surface using clay. Once dry, it was sanded smooth. He carved slots for buttons and dials, removed the center section, refined it, painted it light blue, and mounted all the necessary controls. To refine the driver's experience, Hai turned to the steering wheel. Using a discarded wheel as a base, he coated it in clay and reshaped it. Once complete, he painted it light blue with black accents. Finally, air vents were installed to finish the cabin's front end. With the outer shell nearly done, Hai turned back to the doors. He filled an old frame with bricks and stones, then covered it in clay. After applying glue and mesh, he layered on plaster. Once dry, the form was extracted and trimmed, then sanded down to a smooth finish. Unifying the look inside, Hai sprayed a coat of light blue across all the visible inner surfaces, giving the space a consistent look. Approaching the final stretch of the build, he returned to the body and covered it in a light blue coat, similar to the interior. Side mirrors and skirts were added. To confirm progress, Hai conducted another test drive. Then came time to install the headlights. For finishing touches at the rear, Hai referred to a scale model. He molded the base of the taillights using clay, carefully shaping it to match the curves of the rear panel. Once the form was complete, he reinforced it with a sturdy layer of plaster to ensure durability. Then, he connected the iconic T-design lighting elements and mounted the entire assembly securely in place. Turning attention to visibility, Hai began by welding a sturdy frame for the windshield. He then installed transparent plastic panels into the frame, making sure they were aligned and secure. To complete the installation, he applied a layer of tinting film, giving the windshield a finished, polished look. After applying a final coat of yellow across the body, all panels were fitted in. Front bumpers, mirrors, air intakes, and small design elements, all locked into place. A new set of black wheels gave the replica a polished look. What began as nothing more than scrap metal and a dream now stood as a full-sized Lamborghini replica, impressively close to the real thing. Over the course of 250 days and with just $14,000, Hai brought a supercar fantasy to life, proving that with enough skill and persistence, even the wildest builds can become reality.